Hello again, everybody. Sorry for the extra delay. I wanted it to be about an hour. I tried setting up that terminal thing while I was on my break, and it just turned out to be harder than I thought. The problem was the firmware was expecting a certain API response from the server, and I needed to update the firmware, but there's like very little logging that tells you any of this stuff. So yeah, it took some time. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. Anyway, it's all set up. I can't show you a picture because it's got our actual like personal information on there. But yeah, it's pretty cool. There are some little glitches I need to figure out, but I'm excited about it. Okay, so afternoon, focus on more design and development. Let's take a look at this again. Friday, planning to do a little bit of game design, a little bit of development. Yeah, this is still pretty accurate. Badly documented APIs. Well, I think the API is pretty well documented. The tough thing here is that this device, you have to get the logs through other means pretty much because it only renders so much to the screen. If it were just like a laptop, you'd expect to get it right on the laptop. So yeah, anyway, now I've got notes about it. So if any of my friends ever buy it, I'll just share the notes with them. And I think at least one person was interested. The normal flow that people go through is they go through the central server, and I'm hosting my own server. If you are hosting your own server, it's a little bit harder. All right, so before lunch, I kicked off this implementation. It took about 8 minutes apparently. I mean, that was an hour ago, so it's not like we're in just in time or something. Hey, bye, bub. Is that like an e-ink screen thing? Yeah, exactly. So the way we've got it set up is, oh, there we go. Yeah, I was just gonna take a picture here. We got it set up with weather on the left side and then the calendar on the right side. And it's just our agenda view, and it's just for stuff that like we need. So for example, almost every morning my wife asks, hey, what's the temperature outside? And I tell her, and then she's like, okay, what does that mean though? What should I wear? So I had AI mock up a little icon here where it's like roughly indicative of what she would wear and be comfortable with. And I got to tweak it according to the exact temperatures. So now I have to keep a data log about my wife and what temperature she's comfortable in. So like today, for example, it says light jacket, but she's not wearing a jacket at all. So I'm like, okay, I got to change that. Apparently 59 degrees is just shirt weather. In fact, I should write that down really fast. Let me do that. Terminal 59 degrees is not jacket weather for her. There. Yeah, I'm really excited. So I think she'll like it, and I think we'll get use out of it and everything. And then that's it. It doesn't even really need to do anything else. It's like, yeah, it just refreshes once a day. And if you want, you press the button on it and it auto refreshes or manually refreshes, I mean. All right, so let's go take a look at this. Yeah, lots of exciting stuff happening over here. The next exciting thing I should get is that mouse that I ordered a while ago. I forgot exactly when that was, but it was a while. But this should arrive, I think, this month. It says estimated shipping June/July. June is obviously done, and none of them shipped as far as I know. But yeah, I should get this thing. That'll be cool. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that rainbow border. So it's growing inward. I want it to grow outward, and I think we need to modify the UVs for that. In fact, I think it's already kind of doing this wrong. Like, I think it's maybe border's not the right term to use. Maybe it should be outline. Well, let's check it in and then let's have it change it. Yeah, that was easy. There should be a uniform here. Yep, there it is. Use rainbow. That's good. Default outline enabled. Focus changed. So why does this matter? I didn't understand when it said this in the plan. Focus change is in set outline. Where is this used? Is interaction focused? Oh, I see. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. Register treasure stand. New function that does this, because presumably now we register treasure stands from different locations. Hi, cat. Come on, Abby. Good cat. 10 streams. Don't want to lose this streak next week. can always load it up from your phone if you want to. But yeah. Oh, nice. You went to the cat bed. Oh my God. Hang on. Let me show you this. Oh my goodness. Cat. Hi. Good cat. She's not crushing my legs for once. That is right. Oh, okay. All right, you sleep. You go to sleep right there. Nice. Wow, everything's coming together. Xyletics would be so proud. Oh, no, she's over here. She's like, this isn't warm. She left immediately. I, I think she just needs a heating pad there. I think I gotta buy one for her. Don't disturb her too much or she'll reconsider. Apparently that was just enough. Enough of a disturbance for her to come over here now. She needs a blankie. I had my hoodie there for a little while. She didn't sit on it then either. I think a blanket would probably work. But yeah, the only time she sat there so far for longer than like 10 seconds is when there's been a heating pad. All right, fine. Sit on my legs. Whatever. It plays a sound now. I gotta check out that sound. What is going on? Oh, I'm pressing the wrong key. Outline width. Fade duration seconds. This is all fine. Ready outline width. Yeah, I like the 1 and the 2 there. I just want it to go as an outline, not as an inset. Is fully filled. Why is this public? Oh, for accessing it outside. Fill meter height. This is not really necessary, but it's fine to do. This is strange. We add an outline material to this? I don't like that. Do we have one to begin with? Oh, because you can't interact with it beforehand. Okay, never mind. That makes sense. Yeah, we changed how that works. I did not test that out. So we need to test the sound effect and interacting beforehand. Is empty. Interact with treasure stand. Otherwise do that. Yeah, that was what we used to have. It is somewhere else. All right. Yeah, let's try it again. Are you quite tall or is Abby quite tiny? I have a height command here. Oh, sorry. Did I get a kick out of that? Abby is the relatively small cat. Oh, we got to turn off the outline. All right, what happens if I try activating this ahead of time? Yeah, so it doesn't. Is it making a sound? I don't even hear it. Come on. Is anything making a sound? Did I turn this down? Are you hearing this? I'm not hearing anything. Apparently, it is playing a sound for you guys. Wow, weird. Why do I not hear this? Hey, stats. Did that fix it? Ah, yeah, now I can hear it. Come on, put a treasure chest here. Trying to test this. Yeah, nice. All right, yeah, we just need that to be an outline. Okay. Change treasure chest interactions. You now have to wait for the meter to fill before you can open the chest. There is also a rainbow outline when it is openable. All right, so we got to change it to a proper outline and also change the outline, the interaction shader to a proper outline and make the interaction or hide the shader entirely when you open the chest. Should no longer have a rainbow outline. All right, let's write that down. 2 changes. Change the interaction shader to a proper outline. Right now, it's more of an inset in that we fill pixels inward. I don't want the outline to cover any like non-trans or opaque pixels. Right. And hide the shader entirely when you open the chest. Should no longer have a rainbow outline. Once you open it. Yeah. That's that. Hey, Steven. Cat indeed. Usually helps when they see it. Yeah, I try to avoid image stuff just because I don't like it processing images when I could just tell it what to do. So if this does fail, maybe I'd try something like that. But I think it's probably clear what this means and what's happening here. So these are the changes we're making now. I want to bounce between this and game design. What is the most important game design thing we have to do? Checkpoint 2 or the dungeon runner? I mean, probably checkpoint 2. But the dungeon runner is more fun. So I guess let's finish that. Get some of the idea. So again, we have this bundle here. I'm going to open this up just as a reference image. Here we go. Wait, what is this one? Oh, the UI, yeah. I mean, I spent decent money on this. And if I don't end up using one of these packs, it's just a waste of money. Like I already bought this. So this is just the UI pack. There's a dialogue. There's some life bars. There's a coin meter. There's a font in here. There's this inventory screen. Honestly, I probably don't need a lot of this. Yeah. And the stuff I do need is probably not worth $5 or whatever I paid. This might be nice to have. But this is a very simple looking UI. Maybe we throw it into one of these. Wasn't dedicated space. I don't know. Yeah, and there's a mini map thing here too. Yeah, again, I don't know for sure that we want this. All right, so the way that I had designed this earlier this morning was you enter this dungeon and there's a locked door on your right and there's an open door on the left. So you go through the open door on the left, you fight your way through whatever. There's some normal dungeon stuff. And then you find a key and you find bombs. And maybe, how should this work? I want to make sure you try to bomb like the leftmost wall. Anyway, you bomb the wall and then the floor starts crumbling beneath you and it's just falling into nothingness. And you now have to like run off to the right side. So what happens if you lose or die? I mean, this is an endless sort of thing. So how do you finally win? How do you win? And yeah, what do coins get you? How do you get power-ups? I like the idea of coins. It doesn't really make sense you'd have anywhere to spend them though, does it? Maybe I need to put some more thought into that. Where's the other pack? I want to see what power-ups we have here. Yeah, coins, chests, and stuff. I like the idea of having coins. Click on the image or here. What is this? What are those orbs? It's just some like magic orb. Okay, I did not put enough thought into this part. Yeah. So spending coins sort of implies that there's an in-between in this game that the designer created. Maybe you go into a void and meet a salesperson there. I like this idea quite a lot. Yeah. So again, the concept of this game, being that you're stuck in broken tutorials, for it to be broken, I mean, imagine you're a game developer and you make a game with a bug you weren't aware of. And in this case, let's say the bug is the one we're talking about here. So like bombing the floor or bombing the wall actually just like deletes parts of the dungeon. There are two ways you can go about any sorts of these bugs is like, you know about the bug, but couldn't fix it. Maybe it's too difficult. Maybe it was a time problem. So yeah, difficulty, time constraints, whatever. Or you don't know about the bug. If you know about the bug and couldn't fix it, you'd kind of base it on the severity of the bug. Like, let's say you made a program and it just crashes as soon as you launch it. You're not going to release that program because no one can use it. But if it's like, oh, the text gets truncated in the UI, you might release that program because it's like, well, whatever, people can still read the text. If you don't know about the bug, you might release the program no matter what because you don't know it exists. So you can't have it impact your decision. So what I'm trying to get at here is if you are collecting coins and you die in this game that you were never supposed to die in this particular way, then you wouldn't be able to spend those coins because that would mean that the person creating the game knew that this bug was there. Although, hold on a second here. There are coins in the dungeon. And maybe you're dying in an unexpected way. But dying was expected. So this concept of being able to spend coins afterward might have been fine. So I guess we have a couple different routes we can go here. I do like the coin route, and I like the idea that you can buy something, and I like that there's an inventory. Actually, this is kind of nice too. This would let us use the UI pack that I bought. There could be a salesperson with an inventory screen. Then again, I don't really think we need to do that. Maybe there's just like 3 different upgrades you can buy at any given time. And I got to think of how that's going to work too. Like, are you building up an inventory and this just helps you complete the dungeon? Yeah. Are power-ups consumable? Are they permanent? If you get them all, do you like auto win? Maybe there is a portal that you can buy. Maybe most difficult games in this have a safety hatch or an escape hatch. All right, let's get back to that in a second. Man, I cannot get it to stop asking me about those. I've tried so many different things. It asks if I want to make a .gd script file that can then validate some behavior. And I've got this SIABT temps GD. This is like a specific permission thing that's supposed to say you are allowed to do this. Stop asking me about it. And it does not work. Every game bug can't be fixed, but you have to make it be part of the game. Yeah. Let's go back to this for now. So yeah, option 1, the game planned for you to spend coins. And you do so in some interstitial screen. And option 2, the game planned for you to earn coins, but not spend them yet. And you go to a void world with an agent who sells you things. I like this idea so much. Man, do we have any characters? I don't think we have many characters to begin with here, but do we have anyone who could represent that like void salesman? I guess we could just pick one of the night characters and just color them like all black. Where's the bundle again? Here. And where is the night pack? Here. Could be this. Actually, that one right there could kind of be it. Yeah, maybe it's the Void Knight. And they sell you something. Maybe it's the Treasure Spirit from the last game. I don't know, but I think there should be some character. So yeah, let's not think of who the character is, but I like this idea. And I should really write this down somewhere, the kinds of things I'm coming up with that I want to consolidate into the design document. So let's go into Scratch and Dungeon Racer Design. Trying to figure out some high-level decisions around power-ups, coins, etc. So things I like so far. After dying, you go to a void zone that has a vendor for power-ups. I don't know how they're going to work yet. And yeah. All right, so yeah, how should power-ups work? Are they consumable? Are they permanent? Are they like permanent but with a cooldown maybe? So for example, you get bombs, but you can only use one every 12 seconds or something. Yeah, like you get boots, you can only jump once, or like you accrue jump charges and can only every so often. Yeah, so like you could jump 3 times and then that's it, they gotta accrue the charges again, something like that. Or are they consumable and it's like you get 3 bombs and you can use them how you see fit? So this comes down to, I don't think we can answer this unless we know what the dungeon is going to look like exactly. So we have enemies and we have obstacles and everything, and we can connect these in kind of interesting ways. Where's that water level? Yeah, here. So if we just open up this picture, you could imagine that the water will kill you, but you could get some kind of like jump ability that lets you move between these 2 sections, but you're limited. So maybe there are some obstacles if you were to go across this normally, and jumping is kind of cheating, but you only get so many jumps. So like, yeah, if you got 1 jump every 3 rooms, it's like, oh yeah, you can bridge this gap. You can avoid these spikes here. But then you run out of jumps at some point. And maybe this is a case where we shouldn't decide too much ahead of time here. God, it's gonna be cool to do. Oh, and there are 3 different attack animations. No, 4 different attack animations. Wait a second. This one on the top and the one in the middle, they're the same functionally. They just start in a different location. What is the difference? They're both left-handed. I guess it might be like, maybe you'd consider the sword to do damage when it's in front of you, and here it would do it to the side of you. Maybe that's the big difference there. Because I was going to say, like, I don't need to use all of these. I could just go with this, for example, and it'd probably be fine. What would we do with these things? We only have the 1 attack animation, right? Actually, I downloaded this. I could just go inspect them. Whoa. Whoa. Idle her. Okay, so these are all split out at that point. Charge attack, all animations. Blue. Oh, they have black, blue, green. Interesting. We're probably going to just make it so we color these. Red. Okay, got it. The kitty snores. Yeah. Basic door. Yeah, we'll have a lot of work when it comes to making this stuff. New items update. I just still don't get this. Like, we have these items, but there's no bow in the game. Like, there's no attack animation for the bow. What do they plan for this? Was it for you to have to draw it yourself? Yeah, I don't know. Because I don't know what I'm going to do with that either. Yeah, they look cool. So what do I do with them? Lever, stairs, rocks. What is set? Oh, I see. Tile set. And there's a whole bunch of those. Torch. Yeah, neat. Yeah, there's a lot of neat stuff in here. Yeah, I guess in terms of attack animations, we don't have a ton. And that will inform what we're doing here. So power-ups may be based on what we have in terms of the endless runner bits of the game. We only have so many animations, and we shouldn't put too much. Well, like, we should keep it simple. Stupid. And the animations we do have, there is no like use a bomb animation, right? I guess it'd just be walking and your character just puts it down. Yeah, I don't know what else you'd do. You have the raising animation, but it's not a throwing animation. But yeah, so we have a bunch of sword animations. Yeah, a bunch of sword animations. And a bomb. All right. We have a bunch of sword animations and a bomb animation. But no throwing animation. So you would probably just place them. I mean, I put that in quotes. You don't really, they just appear. So despite that we have other items here, we can't easily use them, right? Yeah. I don't see how you do that. They could represent stats or something, or maybe they, I don't know what that would do. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's some other character that comes in from a different game, starts shooting them with arrows or something. Well, so this does inform the power-ups thing. We don't even have a jump animation, now that I think about it. And it's not just a lack of them having written it out, right? All animations. Combo, attack, charge, hurt, falling, raising, death, standby, run, walk, idle. Yeah. Yeah, there's no jump animation. Hey again, Goose. All right, this slightly complicates things. Because now my idea for power-ups, I don't even know what you would get. You could get like life upgrades or something. So maybe for power-ups, we have bombs, life upgrades. Maybe like attack power. This could be temporary. Like one hit kill ability. What else? Yeah, life upgrades. Maybe these are just shield graphics and you lose one every time you would have taken damage. I mean, there could be keys that you get, keys to open doors in particular rooms. Yeah, I like the idea of maybe there's like some stamina mechanic, and you can only run while you're holding down a button, because you'd want to run all the time. Nah, that might not be fun. It could be that we use this as a dash. You press R and your character like quickly moves to the side, let's say. I mean, what else would coins do? Yeah, I don't know what. Also, there are potion graphics. Did I not see that? Items, icons. No, not icons. Oh, potions. There we go. Interesting. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go back to this for a sec. I'm going to keep bouncing between these things. Implementable changes. Shader now draws only on transparent pixels outside the sprite. Bounded to the Atlas region. That's not how I want that to work. I'm going to have to probably explain this, because I think it's going to chop off some of the rainbow pixels now. We got to wait for this to fill up. Yeah, it is. I got to tell it to expand the UVs. Which I don't know if it just knows how to do on its own. I have a shader that does this already, but before telling it, yeah, I want to see how this works. I bet there will be a lot of weird edge cases with this. I don't want the shader to be bound by the Atlas region. It should expand the UVs of the texture if necessary. And we do this here, don't we? Yeah, expand UVs. Common shader functions, expand UVs. And this issue has been a problem for a while. What is this? Something I filed, right? Yeah. Hey again, Sarah. This may require passing the texture size in as a uniform. Due to what issue? Where did that go? Yeah. All right, and then opening a chest immediately removes the outline. Let's go take a look at that. That part should be fine. That part should be very straightforward. And that should be everything in treasure chest.cs anyway. So we shall simply open this treasure chest. I'll maximize a window. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Clear outline shader when opening chest. All right, so now let's get back to this. How am I doing on quota? Should be like 30-something%, right? Yeah. 30%, but it's resetting in 40 minutes. So bombs, life upgrades, attack power, keys open doors. I'd love to have different weapons and stuff. Like if there was a bow animation, it would be cool to have a ranged attack. It might also kind of trivialize the game. And either way, we don't have the bow animation, so it doesn't really matter. Shouldn't be talking about what would be nice to have. Now, another way we could do this is that the coins you collect only matter during the run that you're in. Like every 10 coins you collect, you get a random power up. Then maybe it's always one you don't have. So you have a max of 3 bombs or something. So if you already have 3, then it gives you a heart, or gives you a shield, or it gives you a, well, what else did I even say? It gives you attack power or something. Yeah, that's another interesting way of doing this. Could also just have coins matter within a particular run. Every 10 coins you get an upgrade. More life, more shields, a bomb, etc. Are bombs even that interesting in this kind of game? Wouldn't you expect to be able to throw them or something? If you can just place them where you are, it wouldn't help at all. Yeah, it wouldn't help at all. We don't have a throwing graphic. Huh. Are you leaving, Cat? Do you want to go to your bed? Yes, that's right. She sat in her bed again. Good cat. Let's see how long she stays there this time. Perfect loaf form. Bombs wouldn't even be interesting if you couldn't throw them. I want there to be a reason for you to get treasure chests. There's another way we could do this. Maybe you need a certain number of keys. A certain number of keys. Every 5 rooms you get to the door room where there are 3 locked doors. After you open a door, it's opened permanently. Sequential locked doors are like in sequence. It's open permanently. This means you only ever need to get to that room, then you can die immediately thereafter. And behind the final door is a portal or something that lets you leave for good. And this whole thing about a void vendor, there really isn't anything for you to buy, is there? The other way we could do this is you're upgrading your equipment. We have some different, I probably wouldn't even implement it this way. We could just change the palette of your character. And I don't even know if we want to do that. But we have the blue version of the character, the red version of the character, the green version, whatever. Like, we have all these different ones. So we could do it like how Zelda does it and say that, oh yeah, the green tunic is the cheapo one, and then the blue tunic is better and blocks some of the damage, and the red tunic's even better than that. But then we're ignoring the player colors you chose at the beginning of the game. And for that reason, I don't think I'd want to do it. Yeah. Is there anything else we can do? We could make it so you have to collect all the orbs. Where are those icons? What do they call items? Ah, here it is. They just don't start it with the word items. V2? What's the difference? I don't know what the difference is there. I can change the colors on this stuff myself, but I find these colors to be a little bit strange here. I know they match the rest of the items. Maybe this isn't supposed to be some kind of magic orb thing. Yeah, it looks like they're supposed to represent elements somehow. I see fire and wood. Maybe that's coal. Maybe that's steel, gold, diamond. Some kind of amethyst or something. Oh yeah, they've got the materials down here too. Oh, interesting. I did not notice that. Still torn. I don't think coins would have much of a purpose if we only have like 2 power-ups. We shouldn't force you to buy them at that point. Yeah. Ooh, 7 streams. Nice, Sean. Now I want to see you get 2,170 more so you can match your name. I think the longest stream streak is like 200 or something right now. So that would be pretty hefty. Be pretty hefty on my part too to stream that many times. Yeah, a decade more. Yeah, I mean, these look very obviously collectible. They're cool. I like the idea of opening chests as well. Maybe they can pop open and give you some coins or something. I just think the coins have to matter. 218. Okay, got it. Any techno rodent. It's 6 years. It's probably not exactly because of how I stream. I'm supposed to do 2 streams per day on those days, and then Tuesday, Thursday is supposed to be 1 stream. So that on any given week, it's what, 8 streams? And maybe I stream for like 48 weeks a year. So this is how many streams per year we would have optimistically. But I do skip some here and there. And what did I say? 2170 divided by 384. Yeah. So it probably would be pretty close to 6 years. Hey, Evans, how's the new game coming along? It's coming along really well. I will show you what I have been working on lately. We've been working on a Skeletor inspired loot box opening game. And wait, one sec, I gotta just take a look at something. Does this work now? Oh yeah, it does look pretty good, except for that part. That glitches out like crazy. Wow, isn't that fun? It looks like it's retaining the shape of the graphic from before. Also, I'm not even certain I want this. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so this game is a game about opening treasure chests and getting loot. And then you set the price of the loot. And when you eventually get customers, they will come and buy items based on how expensive the loot is. So every loot item has a hidden cost or hidden value. And if they find it to be suitable, they'll buy it. Right now, they're not following that logic. So if I set this to 9,000, they'll still buy it. And then, yeah, you just open more treasure chests, you get more upgrades. When they eventually buy that, I'll just speed this up. There we go. Now I can afford basically everything. So by the end of the game, you will have a ton of stuff. There. So now we're getting lots of treasure chests. We're getting better treasure chests. Getting more items eventually. You can move faster. There should be more customers. Yeah, there they are. Yeah. Actually, we need to get to a point where you're getting treasure chests like nearly constantly, probably. Have you played Recettear? I have not played Recettear, no, but the prior game that I made, people told me about Recettear, and I just looked at it briefly. Oh, it's still playing the entire approach with the architect and the broken games. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, so the gimmick with this game, this particular one, is like, yes, you can open loot boxes and you can set prices and stuff, but as soon as you unlock the portal, you just are supposed to walk through it and leave. Whoops. There. And that's it. You're done with the game. And, well, it'd be the next game. I don't have one after this. But yeah, the other game that we were working on was the top-down shooter. And yeah, I think this one's pretty good. It's not finished yet. But there are these monsters, you're going through this dungeon, you're getting power-ups. Yeah. You move very slowly at the beginning. So when you finally die, when you die, the game outright lies to you. And it says, you don't keep your upgrades, here's some for free to get you going again. But that's not true. You do keep your upgrades. So that's why you start out really weak, is because you're expected to die a couple times, and then, you know, each time you die, you can get another 4 power-ups here easily, another 4 power-ups at the beginning. And then eventually you become this just total powerhouse that's destroying everything in your path. I find this game fun to like play through whenever I show it off. We gotta flesh out the world a little bit more. Otherwise, the game's like pretty much there. There's some polish that needs to be added. The doors don't really work correctly. Anyway. Hey, GLFA. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, that music took quite some time. All right, so this looks horrendous. Yeah, it's messing up how this shader is supposed to look. And I don't know if I should step in and add in my own code for this or not. We need this shader to look fine. And it doesn't right now, and it messes up in a lot of little ways. Like here we have this extra bit for no reason. And over here you see it's outlined very weirdly. Whoops. Meant to take a picture of that correctly. And even here you can see it's duplicating this. I wonder if there's like a repeat thing that's being set. Don't you control that here? Expanded texture size. We pass in the texture size here and the texture region. Yeah. Yeah. I do want this to be different. I mean, like I said, we could just copy in what I had in Skeleseller. This would work. It's just there's some hacks here that I don't really like. I guess I could have the AI just fix that stuff, right? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just say change interaction shader so that it resembles this and this. Right now there are several problems with expanding the UVs cause us to outline according to the shape of the sprite as though it were repeated. I'll just take a picture of that and say see attached image. Using Plus or Pro. I'm using the $20 a month one, whatever that is. I think it's Plus is my guess. See attached image. The outline for This outline is like super messed up. I don't even really know what it's doing. It looks like it's taking some of the colors from the treasure chest. It definitely is over here. Yeah. I'll just do this. Change so that it resembles this. However, make sure to pass in the texture size to avoid that issue that we encountered last time. Yeah. All right, let's see if that works. Oh, whoops. I should probably wipe this whole thing out. Oh well, doesn't matter. Issue's only one-sided for the rainbow thingy. I think that's because of the sprite itself, maybe, or where it is in the sprite sheet, maybe. Let's take a look. This is coming from here. Yeah, so my guess is that because the left side of the sprite sheet doesn't have anything there, that it's fine. But the right side, it's probably... Oh, I probably just need to texture crop this now that I think about it. Ooh, that might have been my bad. Oh God. Okay, let's try something here. Let's add this. This won't work though. Now it's got to be for an animated sprite. I didn't put that in the game yet. All right, whatever. Let's just let this run. What do you do if buy an asset pack but it doesn't have an animation you want? I think there are a couple things. So if it were for Skeleseller, then I'd ask Quickie Joe to make that animation. For Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, I'd probably change the game design so that we don't need that animation. If it turns out that it was necessary, then yeah, I'd probably ask Quickie Joe to make that. Yeah, this is where, like, if you have artistic abilities, you might be able to add it yourself. For something like this asset pack, I think it'd be pretty tough. Where is it? Yeah, here, for example. Okay, so let's say you wanted to add in shooting a bow. Like, look at how much there was for just swinging a sword. This is what, 4, 8, so 32 frames for just this attack. And let's say that's the only attack you want. That means you probably need 32 frames for shooting a bow. You at least have the sword one as a reference. So details like the cloak facing upward, you could probably reuse. But still, you got to draw something. It's got to look convincing enough. And maybe you want them like walking while holding a bow and walking while holding a sword. Does he know the implication of what? Of like drawing more animations? Because I don't know if there's some other implication I'm not thinking of, but he is definitely aware of the work that goes into this stuff. Refine them rather than overwrite blindly. I probably should have just changed this a bit. Yeah. Thankfully, what I'm doing here is not super important. I could change this. Just yapping for this. No, I think this is reasonable. We'll see what it does. They keep weapons separate from the main character sheet. It depends on how they're incorporated with a character. So I probably can't find this easily, but if you look at a game like Rayman, his hands are not part of the body sprite. You'd probably keep these separate. And that way, if, I don't know how, I haven't played Rayman, but if he's holding a bow or a sword or whatever, a ray gun or something like that, you just have the hand animated differently. You don't need the body to change too much. Or you could reuse body animations from something else. So that's one style of doing things. But yeah, with the style that we have right now, it's like, it's just one character. Their hands are attached to the sprite, if you think about it that way. Because you got rigs. It could be easier. I mean, once you have 3D, you have several different parts you need to do. There's the modeling, the texturing, the rigging, then the animating, and probably other things I'm not aware of. Lighting, maybe, which I guess is part of texturing. So if that's an easier process for you, then yeah, I think you'll get the potential to do a lot more automatically. Whereas with sprites, you'd have to do something custom for all of them. Yeah. Anyway, this will finish somewhat soon. I don't want to spend a lot more time on this particular bit though. And actually, while it's working, I want to go back to the design of this. So like I said, I like the idea of coins. They're just so prominent in this asset pack. So are the keys and everything that I'd like for those to be the collectibles, but they need to mean something. I want coins and or keys to mean something in this game. What other questions did I have? How do you win? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think this can work anymore. Yeah. How do you win? What happens after you lose? I want to look up that UI pack. Here it is. What do they have in terms of hearts and stuff? They have a whole bunch. And they have quarter of a heart. Like this. I never like this style. I think it's hard to tell how much you have remaining. I like this style better where you can see discrete quarters of the heart fill in. I kind of like this idea. I mean, we could do it this way where you just keep getting hearts and every time you die, it refills all of your hearts. So the hearts are persistent. I don't want to do this like roguelite style thing every single time. It's an easy way of reducing the difficulty for players who struggle. It's like, well, just run the game 10 times and you'll eventually just stomp everything. The other idea was that, oh man, everything is crashing, huh? Did this try killing something? Am I using Fable? No, I'm on Codex. Fable is from Anthropic, not OpenAI. But it's probably pretty nice. Well, all right. I already have some ideas for how this can work. I already have some ideas for this. The whole like you get power ups every so many coins. Keys are needed to open doors to eventually leave the game. So you need to collect as many keys as possible. Hmm. Power ups are just for survivability. I mean, we could have something else happen. We could just make something up with some of these graphics, right? Like there could be a one of these swords just goes like it just shoots out of your character and like hits an enemy and bounces off and hits other enemies or something. We don't necessarily need an animation for it. I think we need to just mock some of this up. Get a little character moving through this whole scene and have him slashing and stuff and just see how it feels and see where the gameplay emerges. Yeah. Yeah. I think the problem with coins is they imply spending something. I don't think you should spend money in this game, or at least not exactly. Maybe every X coins spawns a dialogue that lets you pick an upgrade, like Zelda 2. Attack, defense, or life, something like that. What was in Zelda 2? There was attack, magic, and life, I think. Zelda 2 upgrade. I think it was that. They show the screen here. Yeah, life, magic, and attack. Yeah. This thing says it finished. I mean, let's go take a look. Maybe it'll just look fine. Hey, that actually does look fine. And so does that. Wow. That's a little weird, but that's because we need the transparency threshold to be set, I think. Otherwise, we're doing pretty much fine. Yeah, well. All right. Well, that's cool. Yeah. All right. Neat. Oh, man. All right. Well, this is probably a mess. How much of a mess is this? Yeah, yuck. Do we use is V flipped? I never V flip sprites, so I don't think we actually need this here. Let's delete this. Out of credits. I don't know if you're talking about me, but I still have enough to last until the next cycle. We have 14% and it resets in 14 minutes. So I actually probably should kick something off in that time. But hey, Mohammed. All right. What else do we have here? Has opaque neighbor. Do we have any sort of transparency threshold? We do. Yeah, and it sets at 0.01. If we set this to whatever it was in Skeleseller, I think we should be fine. Problem is, I don't know what that was. 0.45. So that's what our default should probably be. And now everything will probably look perfect. Oh, yours are nearly... Yeah, okay, I see. Thought you were talking about mine. All right, how are we looking now? This is unchanged. That's totally fine. This is looking much better. This is great, and that is great. Yeah, nice. All right, let's check it in, I guess. Interact region is now calling create on here, which animation change, refresh outline texture parameters. We never do this. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. All right, it is on an animated sprite. It's just we don't need to change the animation while it's running. The code in interact region that accommodates animations changing isn't needed. I don't ever do this in the game. And then anything else we have here? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Oh, an ad just started. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. Move that code. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, close the game. All right, so what are we left with here? Refresh texture parameters. Oh, I might have done something stupid. Yeah, I haven't heard the animation changes, but we need to know. Let's just try this again. Yeah, it's working fine, I think. Okay, great. Now, do we want to highlight the individual items on here? Now they should not say the next thing that they were going to say. Yeah. Cool. All right, so what do we do here? Was this already a rainbow? No, I think it's just fix outline shader. The border now goes around the outside of the sprite as opposed to inlaying it. Oopsie daisies. Goodbye, data. Goodbye, job. All right, so we have 7 minutes to use whatever remaining credit we can use here. All right, so I'm going to have it just do a couple different changes. Well, this at least. This is done. This is done. This is done. So let's start a new one of these. Start the master volume at 50% when the game starts up. That's going to be a good change. Hey, Tobias. All right. This is not a thing anymore. Change media disappears when full. Blazing opening particles. This is not a thing anymore. And storage. Okay, so balancing. So we're getting toward the end of that, or at least the end of the like the 80%. We have the 20% for polish and everything. Yeah, yeah, it's a systemic issue. Pickle. His volume on 1000% in the menu. I think more and more games are starting at 50 or 60% and then allowing you to change it afterward. I'm actually kind of surprised it's taking as long as it is. Is there anything else we can do easily? I guess we can add in a couple of music tracks from Skeleseller. Let's go do that. Skeleseller, game, assets, audio, music. All right, so which ones do I want? Maybe this one? And what else? Yeah, 2 and 5. Let's just take those. And put them in here. Audio, music. Oh, you know, loot boxes there yet. Loot boxes. All right, I'll start a new one of these. I just added town theme 2 and town theme 5. Have them play during the loot boxes game. It should pick one or the other and then alternate between the two of them when one finishes. There should be a 10-second delay in between this alternation. Yeah, and is this other one done? It should be. It isn't? Seriously? What? Yeah, I was gonna say this is a one-line change. I didn't expect it to take that long, but it is done. So great. And now we just need this new one. Done. Okay, great. So we can go check this in. Yeah, start master volume at 50%. Does it look like 50% in the game? It should have just run some like linear to DV or whatever. And let's see. Yeah, that's good. And if I play this right now, is it super loud? Yeah, perfect. Sick of blowing out my eardrums when I play the game. Cool. Done. So the new thing that we had this do is adding in the music. Yeah. Then I think we'll just focus on design work for a little while. Well, I should at least kick off something on the coding front. I just don't know what we can do short of balancing the game right now. And there are going to be some minor coding changes to make. But like, yeah, most of the gameplay is there. I guess we need to change customer behavior. And maybe, you know what? We're using the Super Retro World graphics. Don't I have, let me go take a look. Don't I have some graphics for emojis or animations or something? Said Super Retro World. Got it. Okay, so somewhere in here. Now we just have to find it. Character pack? Sprite? No, I don't see it there. I don't know if any of them would have it. The all-in-one bundle. Where would we find this? Oh, it says like melodies and stuff. Hero pack. Did we added a little thought bubble. All right, you know what we could do? We could probably use the graphics from the other game. We have oh, where is it? Sprite UI maybe in the farming game? Yeah, these. Is there anything here that indicates that they're not happy with the price? I mean, rage face, maybe they're like super unhappy with the price. Maybe what else could we use? Indicate they're like minorly unhappy. Maybe this. Yeah. So maybe this is like you're off by more than a factor of 2 or something. It's a very insulting price. And then these are pretty good. This could be like off by less than that. This could be off by even less. So they're like right at the border. And this could be off by more than that. So here's what I'm thinking. Take a picture of this. So I'm thinking this is like the worst. So we say this is a 0. Then where'd the other one go? That looks kind of like a 1. This could be a 1. Oh, wait, I can just do it this way. What am I doing? Yeah. This, then this, then this, then this. Oh, wait. Oh, they had a little X's there too. That could potentially be better. Yeah, I don't think we want any of these other ones, like the fuming face or something. I think this is good enough. And yeah, I don't see anything else that's good here for this. These only differ by a few pixels, so maybe it's not clear enough. And then maybe we do show like a happy face when they buy it. They'll just go purchase it though. Yeah. Yeah, so I think we just show these faces. Yeah. And the graphics for that are here. All right. So where do we leave off with this? My quota just reset. And this is done. Added music, wait for 10 seconds. Sounds good. Yeah, it's done right through the scene with a little bit of code to connect it. Code to connect it has 10 seconds. We get the music players, we get the music track index. Why are there 2 players? We can just use 1 player for this. I think I would prefer that. I mean, this works too. Doesn't really make a difference. Plus, the way I see it is if something works and we could later refactor the code, we should just treat it as a separate thing. All right, so if we turn on audio. Yeah, I guess let's just let this play. Actually, no, wait, before we do that. That's number 2. That's number 2. 2. Okay, so 5 times in a row it picked number 2, and then it finally picked number 5. All right, so it was 2 out of 8, I think. I'm not going to keep running trials as long as it happens at all. We're fine. So all we need to do is listen for this and hear that it eventually switches to the other audio track. I mean, we could also probably more quickly examine this through code. So let's see, how does this work? Music player. Get a random music track. This is not needed. We could just change it to this. Oh no, we need to set the index. So then when this is done, we get the other index. Music track timer.start. When this is finished, we time out, play next music track. Yeah, cool. Yeah, looks like it's good. Also, wow. I haven't heard this music in a little while. It should fit for the game. I composed it for pretty much an identical game. Very cool. So now I should play the other music track after another like 8 seconds or something. We should hear it start. Yep, there it is. Yeah, nice. All right, cool. Cool. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to compose custom music for this because it's just not worth the effort. Plus, it's already my music, so it doesn't really... It's not like there's a license problem. And like I said, it's fitting. It's made for practically an identical environment. Add music to Loot Boxes game. I took 2 tracks from Skeleseller and applied roughly the same music playing logic from Skeleseller. Good. All right, so customers. I want them to start considering the value of items. So we should go figure out where exactly these coordinates are and how big is this? Are these all 16 by 16? They should be. Yep, 16 by 16. All right, so we got to find the coordinates where this starts. And we got to match this image. So rage face is down here. That is 48,160. Then the next one I said was this face. I think if we want to make them more exaggerated, we could use this one and then this one and then this one. Yeah, I think we should do that. So this should be next, and then this one, and then that. Yeah. All right, so dead looking face is 128, 160. X for eyes. And then number 3 is the neutral looking face. That is here, 32, 128. This is, how would you describe that? Maybe like let down face. I don't know. You don't need names for these. And then this one is 112, 112. That is divisible by 16, right? Yeah, 112, 112. And this one is kind of like iffy face. Excellent names. All right, new chat. Want to improve customer behavior in the loot boxes game. Customers should... How does it currently work? We should figure this out. So when customers go to buy an item, I think they should basically just pick almost any item. And then if the item is a proper value, then they can buy it. If it's not, then they'll make a face according to what the value is. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. So it has available purchase target. I'll just describe how it should change. Wait, no, I shouldn't. I should figure out how it works right now. All right, so we have shopping, wandering, and leaving town. So they go from wandering into the shopping state. I guess let's just search for, yeah, start shopping. What calls this? Pick new target. Try find customer purchase target. Find all purchasable items. And then this is their logic for figuring out if they should pursue it or not. So we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to get rid of that. And this was just next bool. So wait, back up a step though. How often do we call pick new target? If they don't have a target, stop moving, wander, pause remaining seconds, and yeah, pick new target. Okay. So there still needs to be some random chance gating this. And it was literally just this. It was a 50% chance. I just want to make certain that's the case. Yeah, that's the only thing that called this. Has available purchase target. Yeah. This is going to be difficult to balance. Because right now, you start with 2 customers. Well, you don't start with 2, but you get 2 very early on. Funky Monkey, thanks for the sub. Happy 2.5 years. Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying your Friday evening. Because I've been enjoying my Friday. It's been going pretty well so far. All right, so we just get 3 items, which we know are a totally fine price. How long does it take on average for customers to buy them all? I mean, they got to walk from far away. So they stop, then there's a 50% chance that they just go to the item. So that one only took 1 time. The green-haired one has been pathing. Okay, so this is why moving is good for them. Or movement speed, excuse me. So they get to their target faster and then just pause there faster. This one's failed like 3 dice rolls, I guess, or coin flips. It's going to stop again. 50% chance to walk to the item. Is it doing it? Is it doing it? Is it doing it? I think it is. Yep. Nice. Yeah. Okay. That's decent logic. Yeah, that's decent logic. Good evening. Good evening. Hey, LPT 36 or 630, excuse me. Semi-human. What is the rest of you? Part human, part robot, part human, part asteroid, part human, part centaur. Actually, funny to think of. You wouldn't say part human, part centaur. You'd say part human, part horse. Yeah, I'm 1/8 centaur. All right, yeah. So customers should still have that 50%. So the next bool that happens here, where is that next bool? We only have one call in the entire code base, right? No, we have 3. Oh, this one's for strawberries. When you harvest them. So try find customer purchase target should do this probably first. Yeah, we should do this first. And I should just not even tell the AI about this. I should just do this. This simulates the chance to not want to shop. Wait, we gotta set this up here. Customers can't just be buying machines. I can't write that down. All right, so reorder some code, reorder and clarify some code. The World Cup hype been out your way? So I have not been paying attention, but when we meet up with friends, that is a pretty common question of how much are people interested? What are they seeing? And from my understanding, tickets here for watching the games have been very expensive. There have been informal showing parties. There's been a lot of hype at those. There were pictures of people in Seattle. Actually, I saw some local news organization. This is, how do I find this now? Seattle World Cup. Oh, there was such a nice picture that someone had taken. It was just like a well-composed photograph, but then also it showed a bunch of people who were hyped up about soccer. I don't know how to find this now. Oh man, it'd be a cool picture to show off. Let me see if I can just search by past week. I don't remember the news outlet. It just showed up on my Google Now feed. Man, I'll try a little bit longer. Hang on one sec. No, I can't find it. But yeah, there are all these random articles with pictures like this. And yeah, I think general sentiment is that people are enjoying it. Soccer, lol. Football means something different here. Should be is instance valid purchase target display instead of not is instance valid. Otherwise, you're accessing has purchasable item on an invalid instance. Where do you see that? Is instance valid purchase? I mean, it is, and there is no not there. So you have an available purchase target if the target is valid. Then up here, we check to see if it's not valid, then don't do something with it. So yeah, this should be fine. I just figured out there was a sports thing going on yesterday. I enjoy living under my rock. You know, really, if I didn't meet up with people and I didn't happen to see that Google Now feed, yeah, I don't think this would have crossed my path. Like, I don't see it on YouTube. I don't see it on Hacker News. Maybe it was on Hacker News. But yeah, I don't think it, I wouldn't go seek it out. I've never been a sports person, and I saw one esports thing in real life, which was StarCraft 2 at BlizzCon. That was really, really cool. And I could imagine being into the World Cup and going to a match and just having everyone around you cheering and just having fun. And yeah, I think that would be electric. I think it'd be great. But I'm not into soccer. So I don't think I'd enjoy the game itself. I just enjoy probably the energy of everybody. All right, so customers should now consider the value of an item when it comes to purchasing that item. All right, so what file am I in right now? Customer.cs. And we have the pick new target. And pick new target is just based on this changed orders. There we go. So purchasable displays, we still do this and we still seek this out. And then once they get there, try complete customer purchase. Is this what I want? Complete shopping target. Yeah, here it is. Should be changed so that customers consider the value of an item. Or consider the price of the item that the player set compared to the value of an item. If the price is less than or equal to the value, then the customer should buy the item. If the price is less than or equal to like 10% more than the value of the item, then the customer should, I think the customer should have a chance to buy it. Yeah. I think they should show this face when they choose not to get it. Yeah. Maybe they have a 50% chance to buy it. Yeah. First guess is the Olympics. Wondering about has available purchase target. If it really uses not is instance valid, isn't it the opposite of what the method name suggests? Or what am I missing? Has available purchase target. You're talking about this function, right? If it really uses not is instance valid, it doesn't use not is instance valid though. It's just, there's just a capital I, not an exclamation mark. And then the opposite of what it suggests. Yeah. So this is doing exactly what it should be doing. You have an available purchase target if the target is not null, it's valid, and it has an item on it. So yeah, this is exactly what it should be. Okay, if the price is less than or equal to the value, then the customer should buy the item. If the price is less than or equal to 10% more than value, the customer should have a 50% chance to buy the item. If they do not end up buying it, so there should probably be some chance that they buy a ludicrously overpriced item. I don't know what these thresholds should be. So let's say an item is priced at 100 gold. The value is 100. If you set your price to 100 gold, they will always buy it. If you set your price to 110 gold, they'll buy it 50% of the time. If you set the price to 120 gold, they'll buy it 10% of the time. What other faces do I have? So this is the 50% face, then the 10% face. Maybe there's like a 1% chance after that. And if the price is greater than 130, they'll never buy it. Does that sound reasonable? And I don't know. I don't think it matters. I think just having these customizable thresholds is what matters. And you're probably not going to tweak these too much anyway. So yeah, this is probably fine. Yeah. All right, let's code that up. 20%, then the customer should have a 10% chance to buy the item. And then the final one of these, 30%, customer should have a 1% chance to buy the item. And if the price is less than or equal to 40%, technically all these should say otherwise, comma, if. Yeah. Then the customer should have then the customer should not buy that item. Perfect. So in any case where the customer does not buy an item, they should still pause at the item. Should pause at the item for a couple of seconds and show an emoji graphic above their head. This graphic should fade in and then fade out when they're done showing what they thought about the price. Fade out and fade in and then fade out when they're done thinking about it. And the graphic should always be pulled from reaction.png. The region should be based on the delta between percent delta between price and value. 10%. X equals that, Y equals that. Width and height are always 16. 20%. Oh, wait, no, it's the other way around. I'm doing this backwards. I mean, I'll still write this out, but yeah, this is stupid. %30 and 40%. All right, so that was this is the rage face. So they're super mad at your price, right? Yeah, so other way around, 30, 20, 10. Okay, is this Codex? Yeah, this is Codex. Voice as a UI would take over, don't you think? Even the crazy typing speed, orally telling the AI what you want would speed up the instruction workflow. I'm concerned I wouldn't be as precise. Because what I'm assuming happens when you dictate here is it's just doing speech to text. And then I'll just have the text in here. And I think that process would take me longer than just coming up with it myself. I have to think about it anyway and review it. Does the game have Easter eggs? The game has a lot of little Easter eggs. I still think my absolute favorite one so far, and most people will probably find this. I don't know why. I just find this so funny. So in the farming game in here, if we speed this up a little bit and then skip this dialogue. Is it playing sounds? No, you can hear that. I can't. Keeps messing up. Anyway, if you switch to your axe and you throw it, sorry, if you switch to your axe and you try using it, it throws it and says ditching that axe is giving you the ability to run. And yeah, sure enough, you can run now, but also you can never pick up your axe again. It just floats through the world as you try to get close to it and can eventually just wander off the screen. And I just get such a kick out of that. Like someone's gonna come over and try to cut down a tree and just throw their axe on the ground. There are a lot of other little things that you can do here. You can dig up houses. Let me speed this up. Oh, fine. Let's go over to here. Yeah, you can dig up houses. So if you use your shovel on a house, it just goes away. That's a community center. You can't dig that up. And there are a lot of other little things that exist in these games in terms of Easter eggs. Yeah. What's AI workflow? It's pretty much just using Codex. I don't have too much more than that. I guess I'm using JetBrains' AI for the autocomplete inside the editor. Path to a secret area. There will probably be some place where you can get diamonds. Let's see. So I want to improve customer behavior in the loot boxes game. Try complete purchase should be changed so the customers consider the price of an item that the player set compared to the value of an item. If the price is less than or equal to the value, the customer should buy the item. The price is less than or equal to 10% more than the value of the item. Customers have a 50% chance. In any case where the customer does not buy it, they should pause at the item for a couple of seconds and show an emoji graphic above their head. Or what they think about the price. Yeah, nice. All right, let's just let's plan this out. So I, before this plan, am at 99.62. Yeah. With pre-configured MD files. Pre-configured, I have an agents.md file that I made. It's not too extensive, and there's really not much to it. And then I have one other file that's supposed to control it, but it's not really doing what it's supposed to. But yeah, beyond that, I didn't do anything. And thanks, PT3 630. I keep trying to say 360. Much more common number than 630 to me. Yeah, I've been having a pretty good time just getting through a lot of these games and a lot of this work. I am looking forward to the next play test. I'm a little bit scared that people won't like the game, and I'll be like, well, time to go back to the drawing board. And yeah, there's just been an overwhelming amount of work to do anyway. If we finish designing this Dungeon Racer game, which I think we're close enough to it, we can start working on it in the next week or so, and then we'll have 5 games, at which point making the music is going to become more important. And that'll be for the next play test. And we'll have done that in about 4 months. So I think the pace is moderately fast. I'll call you Al? Okay, yeah. I'll write that down because otherwise I might forget. Can you nickname users on YouTube? Anyway, I'll write this down. L. Okay. No worries. That's totally fine. In fact, most YouTube names are people's real names. I'm not totally sure why that's the case, but that's rarely the case on Twitch. Exploit planning features with phases and giving AI what definition of done is. Makes coding part very easy. Yeah. Yeah, I find that just giving it a plan like this is usually pretty good. What should happen? The price is more than 40% above. Reject plus emoji, yeah. What exact fade hold timing should a couple of seconds mean? I don't know if 1 second is going to be enough for you to see this. 1.5 might be better. Yeah, let's do that. After the rejection reaction finishes, how should they continue? Resume wandering. I want that, yeah. What I find is Codex's favorite word is grounded. It's almost always like, let's ground this in the existing. It doesn't say that here. Let's ground this in the existing behavior to find out what's going on. Does it say it anywhere else? I think it's usually when I have it planned. Okay, no, it's saying trace a lot. Yeah. Yeah, trace. Okay, never mind. I've seen it say grounded a lot. It likes to start randomly speaking Chinese. False currently means the item disappeared before the arrival. All right, cool. All right, while that's working, let's do some more game design. So here's what I've been stuck on. I want to make this game. I want to make this like an endless runner style game. We don't really have much in the way of power-ups. I want you to collect coins and probably keys, but I don't know why. Other than that, like, sorry, rationale for why I want you to collect them is I want you to have other objectives that aren't just like go straight to the finish line. But I don't know what the coins and keys will do for you. I think upgrading your character and making the dungeon easier somehow is interesting. We could have keys be a means of skipping rooms. Like every once in a while, there will be a path. There will be a fork where you can open a door and take a path with basically no danger, or, well, with a key, or take the dangerous path. Now, keys are one way of accomplishing that. Another way of accomplishing practically that same thing is giving you invincibility. Like, you get 10 coins and you get one, I don't know, invincibility orb. And you can just press a button to enable it, and your character glows and they can't be harmed. That is a more flavorful way of doing a skip a room kind of thing. It's also not technically totally accurate. Like, imagine if this were one of the rooms you could go through and you could walk in here and this is just like just a pit. Invincibility doesn't really help you then. But invincibility might help you with, like, you can't walk onto spikes and take damage, or an enemy can't hurt you. Actually, you know what else? There's this statue here. Maybe these are checkpoints. I didn't think about that. Yeah. Did I say how we accommodate players? So we have an option, start from beginning or start where you left off. Could also have checkpoints to naturally do this. I don't want there to be a lot of downtime, though. Don't like the idea of a void chamber, since I don't want there to be a lot of downtime. Maybe when you come back, there's a sign saying that it can take you to where you left off. We need to remember what your infinite dungeon was if you come back, though. Rather than just defining a new one each time. Is this plan done, by the way? It is, yeah. All right, let's read it. Customers will evaluate an item's player set price against all item data value, which right now I think has nothing in it, right? No, well, they all do, but they're set to 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I need to eventually fill out this data. Maybe let players use the keys to open chests with rewards. Yeah, the problem is I'm not sure what the rewards would be. This particular asset pack doesn't have a lot in the way of functional things. Like, there are item graphics, these, and yeah, we could drop these and you could pick them up, but like, what do you do with these? There's an axe, but there's no like attack with an axe graphic. And yeah, there's a bow, but there's no shoot an arrow graphic. So I don't know what you, that's the problem that I have. I don't know what you do if you got coins. Like, imagine you could buy these things. Yeah, cool. But then, like, what do they do? And we could make something up, like, I don't know, you press a button and it just shoots a bunch of stabs out of your character and the stabs shoot fireballs. Use Codex for a bit, but I've been on Claude since. I liked Claude. Honestly, the reason I switched was because Claude partnered with SpaceX, and I don't think Elon Musk needs more money. Just a personal opinion. So I was like, all right, let me try Codex. And I don't think Codex is bad. I do think Claude was a little bit better, at least from what I saw. While giving stats, I mean, not visual items or extra powers. Yeah, but still, I'm not sure what stats you would need. The obvious ones in a game like this would be speed, attack, defense, life. They're just not super interesting. And I don't even know for sure that they'd improve the game. Yeah. He's certainly a guy. He is certainly a guy. All right, what else do we have here? All right, update this to return customer purchase outcome. Unavailable, purchased, or rejected. Inspect purchasable item without removing it. Use exact integer ratio comparisons. Yep. Key projected item on their display. Treat prices above 40% as a 40% reaction tier. Add a reacting to price customer state. Prevents movement and target selection during the reaction. Add a hidden nearest filtered sprite 2D. Yep, perfect. Animate the reaction. Yep. Resume wandering immediately without showing a price reaction. Oh, well, they could show a letdown reaction. Do we have one? The graphics that I used were these. I mean, maybe they show like a frowny face. Or maybe the fuming face. There's a party hat face. I like that. Nah, I don't know. I don't think we need to do that. All right, let's look at this again. Yeah, I think this looks good. All right, go implement it. Oops, how do I close this? There we go. Where'd you get the art from? Like characters and all? So a lot of this stuff is from Itch. I don't have this design document public, but I can share any of the links if you want them. Let me show you where monetary cost. Yeah. So like here's where I got all the artwork from so far. And yeah, we're looking at now is this particular pack. I'll link this in the Twitch. I just bought this yesterday. Where does it show? Yeah, purchased for $5 20 hours ago. Yeah. Okay, so I want coins or keys to exist in the first place to give players another objective while they're racing through the dungeon. Coins suggest needing to purchase something, but I don't want to slow the action down. And I think the idea of like auto buying keys would be fine. At which point a key is really just like 10 coins. It's like a different color coin. You know, it's like in Super Mario 64, blue coins are just 5 regular coins. Or maybe coins do purchase hearts or something. Or you come across some like mini shop in the game. Actually, that'd be kind of cool. There's a shop with a couple of choices and you have to make a choice pretty quickly. The thing is, the choices need to have an actual decision behind them. If it's just like buy more life or buy, I don't know, a shield or something, it's not going to really matter. Maybe you could buy bombs and the bombs let you destroy certain things you couldn't destroy otherwise. It's kind of the same as having a key in a locked door, though. I think keys should just probably be for treasure chests then. Maybe keys are delayed means of getting coins. Maybe keys are just ways to open chests, and chests just have coins. Every once in a while, there's a mini shop where you can spend your coins or move on. Hey, Cuttlefish. Maybe what you spend it on is like a checkpoint or life. That could potentially work. Maybe you spend it on a checkpoint or on a health upgrade. Or maybe it's temporary life versus permanent life. You get like +3 temporary hearts or +1 permanent heart. And the amount would be, let's say, like 10 coins. And this would be 30 coins. I don't know about the values of these. Maybe they're all 10 coins. Yeah, everything you buy is 10 coins. I mean, how much damage are you going to take as you go through this? Maybe we should just make some of the game and figure out how it feels. Does dungeon have a time limit? If not, maybe add an hourglass that extends or briefly freezes the timer. Could work well alongside the keys. The overall sub game here will have a time limit because it's going to be like a dungeon racer kind of game. But it's going to be kind of like, it's going to be something like spend more than 5 seconds in an area and you'll die. So as long as you're moving, you know, relatively quickly, then it should be okay. Did I just finish pizza for lunch? No. I had some like chicken with squash. Hang on one sec. I mean, this isn't too bad. Yeah, there's nothing else I really could come up with. I mean, maybe the other thing we could do is we could say like you have to buy charges of your charge up attack, and you just can't use it all the time. You know, also be kind of cool is if your charge up attack let you move while you're this like whirlwind, this spinning whirlwind. So you could stay in that animation for a little bit longer. Yeah. Mini shop where you spend your coins or move on. Maybe spend it on a checkpoint or on a health upgrade. All that's just to stop you from dying. If you never take damage, you don't need that. Oh, I guess then you also just beat the game quickly. We could, another thing we could do is we could have you spend money on gear that just doesn't do anything. Would just be for collecting. So like find every one of the gear sets and you find like golden swords and golden staves and you buy them. But not for any reason. I don't think that's satisfying. Yeah. This is tough. Yeah, it's really tough. We could also do some like there's a ferryman that requires you to have enough money to, you know, take you across and finish the endless dungeon. Actually, the idea of collecting money to be able to leave is kind of interesting. There's some knight guarding a door. And they'll let you through for 100 coins or something like that. And the temporary hearts could be another way of doing this. Hey, hang on one second. Hang on. Yeah. My wife apparently wanted to talk to me. She's like, "Oh, you're streaming." Let you through for 100 coins. Look at those graphics again. Did I close it already? I closed it already. Man. Actually, what we could do is they could say like, you have a choice. You could fight us or you could pay us 500 coins. Yeah, I think we need to test this out. We just need to make enough of the game to figure out what feels good and what is a natural next step. Maybe they say they can fight you or you could buy your way out. All right, so general conclusion, we probably need to make enough of the game to know what the next step is. It'll hopefully be more obvious as we develop it. I don't generally like doing that Yeah. Yeah, I don't generally like doing that. Are there portals or anything in here? I think that'd be really cool. What are the other packs? And switching this like lava tile set at some point too. I guess we can always use those orbs as like portals. Yeah. All right, and ad is going to start. So I'm going to take a quick break. And then when we get back, we'll review this. We'll do a little bit more design and then probably call it shortly thereafter. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, hello. Close the game. Hey, Gabriel. Oh, and take care, Cuttlefish. I don't know if I saw you before you left. Close the game. What if players buy multiple weapons? Even unequipped weapons could provide small passive bonuses, kind of like a set bonus. Wait, why is this not working? Close the game. Come on. All right, what's happening here? Oh, there, it did it. Yeah, so passive bonuses. This is still on the stats train of thought, which I'm not saying stats wouldn't work. I think we need to test it out and see. Because, yeah, I think there are a bunch of ideas for this. So the general plan is we need to develop enough of the game, enough of the known parts of the game to be able to experiment and see what works. I do like the idea of having coins, but I don't know what you would use them for. I think keys can be for chests, which can contain lots of coins. And coins should probably be for leaving the endless dungeon eventually. Maybe you talk to an agent who lets you through. Or maybe this gets you back to the Architect's Realm. Architect's Realm. Just by having your coins overflow the counter. Like 999 is the max. Then you exceed it and it zooms in and like breaks the text and glitches out the dungeon. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So we'll cross that off. At least for now. Now let's go take a look at this. So let's just try it out and see what happens. We have all the values set to 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to set them all to 100 so that it's very easy values to think about and also easy to type in. Now let's go try it out. So every item has a value of 100, which means a customer that sees a price set of 90 or 100 will always buy it. So we're going to just mess around with that for a little bit. So let's go do that and full screen this. And set all the prices to 100. All right, so they're all happy paying those prices. Now we're gonna, I don't know why I even did that. I guess to test the basic case. Now we set these to 110, and now they have a 50% chance of buying it. So this customer comes over and they bought it. Then, okay, well that customer was happy with everything, huh? That is potentially fine. That's only 3 coin flips. It's totally possible that could have happened that way. And it's also possible there's a bug. So let's try these. Oh, nice. See? Yeah, they show their little unhappy face. So they didn't buy that one. Yeah, that person wasn't happy either. All right, so now we set them to 120, and now there's only a 10% chance that they buy it. Yeah, we need this to be 120 also. Yeah, so now they're very disappointed with the price. And if we leave them for long enough, they will eventually buy it. If I speed this up by like 4x. This is very cool. I like this a lot. All right, now we set it to 130, and now they have a 1% chance to buy, and they're going to be very upset to see this price. Yeah. They have a budget. They have infinite wallets. They will eventually leave, though. And then at 140, they have no chance of buying and will always be enraged to see that price. There. Yeah. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's really cool. So this will let you know to go lower the price by a bit. Now, if you know what these rules are, it'll tell you exactly what the price is, which is maybe not great. Well, I don't really care, do I? What are the odds that someone actually figures this out while they're playing the game? Like I said, you're going to be in this game for maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So if you do figure out the rules and you're like, oh, I'll just set it to... Oh, no, it doesn't tell you anything, right? Because you could have this set to like 2,000 and they'll never buy this either. So you'd still have to figure out, okay, what is the reasonable realm for this item? So it's not 2,000, so you try 1,000 and now someone's still upset. So you go down and charge 500 or something. Or maybe you just lower it to like 50 just to see will someone purchase it at all. Yeah, and they bought it. Oh, but the problem is you don't know what it was they just bought, right? So like the next time around, oh, these are all worth nothing, right? Let's just set them all to like 11 or 12 or whatever. All right, so they're gonna buy those. Now he gets some new items. But anyway, at some point you're gonna come across something where you would set this price to, let's say, 60 before. And I guess you could be pretty confident that someone bought it because it just reappeared over here. So you'd probably try increasing the price and see like, what can I get away with here? We'll see. I don't think this really matters too much. Now we're getting another treasure chest. Yeah, we can go spend our money, buy some more treasure stands, get some more customers, make everyone move faster, get some more item displays, get better treasure chests. I think this will be pretty cool. Yeah. Already seems pretty cool. Their little faces. It just cracks me up. Alright, they really don't like that. Let's set it to 110. I mean, I already know all the prices were 100, so we don't have any real difficulty here. Nah, neat. Yeah, very neat. Alright, so I did not want to actually change any of that stuff. Let's just revert all of that. Alright, price reaction fade duration seconds, price reaction hold duration seconds, price reaction size. That's a constant, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty reasonable. This could be a pattern. Cool. Yeah, looks pretty good. All right, so price reaction is baked right into the sprite. I want to take a little bit of a closer look at that. Texture filter set correctly. That's all fine. Sale value, item value, purchase outcome. Yeah. Yeah, this is fine. They're rejected at 40%. Maybe we shouldn't have named it that way. For now, it's okay because that is what it is. But in the future, if we're like, well, actually that's at the 70% margin, we'll probably just change it to like rage outcome, unhappy outcome, slightly unhappy outcome. So there was only one part of this I really want to look at, and that's where price reaction is. That is in customers. Let's go to customer.cs and price reaction. Let's see where this is set. I'd expect it to be in ready. It is. And we hide it. Otherwise, we set the region. Yeah, perfect. All right. Pretty nice. Pretty nice indeed. Yeah, cool. All right, easy, nice. All right, so add customer reactions. Customers will actually consider the price of the item compared to the value of the item and then react accordingly, buying or not, and emoting based on how far off the price is, on how high the price is. All right, we got to do more design stuff. Is there anything else over here? So this is done. Wander around, occasionally get stuff. Buying should show text. Should give you money. They consider the price of the item right before buying. They should be doing that. Yep. Intro, we have all this stuff figured out. Wow, so we're pretty much at the balancing phase, right? And adding in all the other item data. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so let's get to the most important thing that remains here. Finish designing how Checkpoint 2 will look. I think that adding another game is possibly a mistake. We should just figure out how the story beats play out, then work on the loot boxes game. All right, so Checkpoint 1 was the platformer, the Fever Dream game, eventually removed. the farming game, like take 1, take 2, and then that was the end. And in between this was the Architect's Realm, just to be banished. Checkpoint 2 is this top-down shooter, loot boxes, then probably the Dungeon Racer. So here you get banished. The original story beats were supposed to be that you get back there and they're like, you again, get out. Which, if that's all that's going to happen, could probably, well, like almost certainly should happen after the top-down shooter. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think you need to go back to the Architect's Realm. So maybe it's like every 2 games, basically. We have a couple of options. Yeah, we gotta play this out. Story beats for checkpoint 2. So right now, the only story that plays out is all around the farming game. Before it, you get banished, and during it, you learn about Sidekick. So I'm about to add 3 sub-games. Top-down, shooter, loot boxes, and the Dungeon Racer. We need more of the story to play out. I originally wanted the Architect to banish you a second time, but maybe we should just have them talk to you instead. Where is that? Eventually they hear you out for long enough to know that you enjoy the games. I think that had to be the 3rd time. We have a jump animation for this top-down shooter character. We eventually need to get them back into the Architect's Realm. I don't know where I put this. I think it's just still in downloads. Yeah, here it is. Jump new. All right, so jump gun. How does this look? Yeah, I mean, it's reasonable. I might only need like left and right animations for this, so it might not be too bad. Basically, what I'm trying to figure out is if you are in the platformer and you enter the Architect's Realm, you enter as your platforming character with all the platforming mechanics. I'd love to keep the top-down shooter mechanics and have you enter the Architect's Realm again. So here we have this. You are in the Architect's Realm as your platforming character. You have all the normal mechanics here. I want to put you in there as this character, but since this is top down, we would need to change how the background looks, I guess. It could be another entrance into the Architect's Realm. I don't exactly want to say that this directly connects, but it could. And I had some idea where you get tons and tons of upgrades and it just kind of pushes you somewhere. Where was that? Where is that? Be cool to have the boss drop so many power-ups that your gun fires faster and faster and destroys a wall. Maybe it shoots in every direction and just one of the wall segments blows up. Need that wall second it flashes to indicate that it's weak. I really like that idea. So you get done with this game. Let's just give myself a million power-ups here. Yeah, so you're like flying through the game. You can kill everything. Now let's just teleport to the boss room. Actually, you know what? No, let's not teleport there. Let's just run there. Well, let's run there a little faster. There. All right, that way we can get all these power-ups too. Yeah, it's good enough. So yeah, you get into here. Maybe when you defeat the boss, it just spews out like a million power-ups. There's like 100 of them there. And maybe they're a different kind of power-up. Maybe it's like gun power. No, I mean, you already have power as a stat. Maybe it just drops like a gun upgrade. And now all of a sudden you can destroy the walls in this room. And you do so and you just like walk out of here. And when you go off the screen, yeah, maybe you can destroy this wall. And when you go off the screen, you like the screen fades to black and you enter into the Architect's Realm. That could work. That could definitely work. And then how do you look compared to the architect? So if we put you into their room and we put a top-down shooter player here. They have a light attached to them, so we need to change that. You are much smaller, so we probably need to scale this. Let's do editable children. I don't think you can delete things from here unless you make it local, right? So make local. And then delete their light source, or just turn it off. And then scale up the player by like 2x. That would work. Yeah, that would work. All right. Yeah, this is coming together. Yeah, I like this idea a lot. All right, so exiting the game, killing the boss drops some kind of mega glowy potion. Maybe it's a graphic from another game. Intentionally a graphic from another game. You get it and start shooting like crazy projectiles. The wall now flashes when you hit it. And after like 50 bullets, it breaks. The camera doesn't scroll, the right wall. The rightmost wall. The camera doesn't scroll to accommodate the player's movement. When the player leaves the screen, we disable input. Well, no, you'd hear footsteps, right? So you'd stop hearing footsteps if we disable input. By a large enough margin, how about that? The screen will fade and they'll be in the Architect's Realm. Maybe. Because maybe. Like we had this sort of spooky area. This is not a top-down sprite sheet. No, I think they just appear in the architect's office. Yeah, I think they just appear in there. So, at the very least, they get banished. Yeah, we have all those pixel graphics that I bought. Where are those? Monetary costs, pixels. Yeah, we have all these. So when you start shooting like crazy bullets, right now we're using this one right here, this tiny little lemon pellet. But like we pick any of these crazy looking ones. Maybe you shoot fireballs out of your gun or something. I think it just go everywhere. In fact, I think this would be a pretty good bullet to use. But this one looked cool too. Really, any of these. In fact, you could just shoot all of them. Like, yeah, we can just randomly pick one. Yeah. Or we change the color of it too. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that could like really indicate that it's more powerful. But so good the size. Doesn't matter. Either way. Whatever. Looks different. You shoot the wall. You break the wall. You go through the wall. And then you end up in the office. Got it from 108 megabytes to 55. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, good job. These are the kinds of things where I know it doesn't really work this way, but if you think about it in terms of like person time saved, depending on how many people are downloading it, it could be hours or days or months or something. But the reason I say it doesn't really work that way is like, yeah, maybe you're saving a couple seconds per person, but they probably aren't paying that close attention. As opposed to like, let's say you have 100 people in a meeting and the person who's conducting the meeting just shows up late. It's like those people are waiting for that person, so they probably are paying attention. They're like, oh wow, that just cost us 500 person minutes. All right, so this sort of boils down to how many sub games we have. But it also depends on how bored the player would be. Maybe the loot boxes game takes you out. It's got a portal though. The portals are supposed to take you to a new game. Hmm. Okay, let me think. What's the next story beat? Cycle through playing 2 to 3 games, breaking out of them, finding the architect, getting teleported into new games. We could rearrange how some of these games are laid out so that, like, the top-down shooter is probably going to take people 5 or 10 minutes. The loot boxes game could take someone 20 seconds, but it's probably going to take them 5 or 10 minutes as well. So then by the time you've gone through the stuff, it's been like half an hour and you're still not totally clear on what's going on in the game. So we could put a short game in the middle of this. Shows intent and quality when things are optimized. Yeah. Yeah. I'm always pleasantly surprised when a game I go to download is smaller than a gigabyte. Because I think a gigabyte is roughly, well, it depends on the game. Some games you could not fit in a gigabyte. But yeah, it's like roughly the, oh, this is an indie game that was made well. So, what was my overall plan for 2026? Didn't I have a roadmap here? Yeah, general roadmap. 2026, prove out the idea. I have 30 to 45 minutes of fun improving gameplay. So if we spend another year making more games, and I got better at it, and we had some good ideas, and maybe we make like 10 more games. So we'd have a total of maybe 15. At which point we would definitely need to speed this up. Yeah. Train sim went. Train simulator. Not for me. How long do I think this will take me? Probably another couple years. Maybe 3 years. I don't know. All right, so suppose we just make extra sub games for another whole year. We would probably have like 15 to 20 by the end of that time. So these story beats, like you eventually need to have an actual conversation with the architect. They inform you that you can't stay in the real world for too long and they send you back into game worlds. Go through another few games before finding Sidekick. Yeah, I think we just need to speed this up a little bit. Yeah, I think we need to speed this up. I don't think we can have them banish you a second time. Unless the farming game is what is when you saw that. Right now, the way you leave the farming game is through a portal, and I wanted to make this distinction between a portal puts you in another game, a glitch puts you into the real world. So if we go to farming game, also I gotta figure out why I'm not hearing audio. What if I change this? No. No dice. Oh, wait. No, no audio was playing. Okay, my bad. All right, so skipping this. The way you leave is through here. You toggle a lever. Nothing happens. Sidekick comes over and toggles their lever. And portal spawn. And then you can go through the portal. And Sidekick goes through their portal. And you enter the next game. So what if instead of this, you went back to the Architect's Realm? I don't want to overload how portals work, though. I mean, it'd be easiest if a portal just took you to the Architect's Realm. And you saw another little cutscene play out with your farming character there. I mean, just like how we did this. We could add in a farm player. Probably also need to scale them up by 2x, though, right? No, they're reasonably sized already. Yeah. It's very cool to see them all together. Okay. Yeah, let me just write it down. I'm leaning toward having the farming game send you back to the Architect's Realm. Problem is that that's not how portals are supposed to work in this game. But it's just some random rule I made up. I could just undo the rule. But then the third game puts you back there too? Oh, I don't know. Happens after the farming game. But then the pacing would be you do the platformer, you end up in the Architect's Realm, you get banished. And then you go to the farming game. Then the farming game, you go to the Architect's Realm, get banished again, and go to the top-down shooter. Then in the top-down shooter, you go back to the Architect's Realm, but this time you actually have a conversation and then get sent into the loot boxes game. The loot boxes game would just send you to the Dungeon Racer game. No entry to the Architect's Realm. We could change the rules of this such that every game connects you back to the Architect's Realm. I don't think we have that much story to play out in the Architect's Realm, though, right? Go through another game only to find your way out. Go through another few games before finding Sidekick again. This time they're practically an NPC. It would, if we do this and we end up with 15 sub games, we'd have 15 opportunities to advance the story. Yeah, we probably need this. Why would the video games connect to one another anyway, right? Okay, okay, I think we can change this, and I think this would be more convincing. This is such difficult work. It doesn't seem like it's difficult, but it is. Yeah, so I think it may be better if every game connects back to the Architect's Realm. Sometimes it's through portals, which were essentially escape hatches. Why would they be, though? This means that they were intentionally put there. Maybe it was one of those, like, you can leave if you want to. What movie did this? Some movie did this sort of thing. You can leave if you want to, but you really couldn't. You were pretty much just trapped there. And the way I'm thinking about this is, any of the video game characters could have walked through this portal, but they eventually like lost their minds. You can check out anytime you want. You can never leave. Yeah. I feel like maybe I'm thinking of like a Twilight Zone episode or something. I don't know. Yeah, so I think we need probably some story connectivity here. Why would these portals even be in the game, though? The original idea was that glitches would bring you back to the real world, not portals. Portals were added intentionally. There would have to be an explanation of like the architect wanted to allow the characters to leave, which doesn't really make sense. Maybe the portals are glitches. I don't know. Maybe I don't even need an answer for this. Also, I don't want to change this now, but we could change how some of these scenes work. It's like, whoops, back in the farming game, we go here. Like, yes, there happens to be a portal here. But maybe the wall opens up instead. Part of why we did things this way is because you can't enter the same portal as the sidekick. So when you try to, it disappears. And if you try activating this switch, they actually walk to the other side of the room. And that way you can never go in the same portal, because you have to get separated for story reasons. So it's like a dumb mechanical facade over this of, hey, the levers only work when you're on opposite sides of the room. Yeah, I think this makes more sense. That way, if we do end up with, say, 15 sub games, we have plenty of opportunities to advance the story. Plus, we need it to be advanced. We need to advance it at the beginning in order to like convince people, well, in order to hook people pretty much from a story perspective. Why would portals even be in the game? Original idea was that glitches would bring you back to the real world, not portals. Portals were added intentionally. Had to be an explanation like the architect wanted to allow characters to leave, which doesn't really make sense. Then maybe the portals are glitches. But then what would those levers have been there to do? Levers were there. For some reason, they ended up activating a portal. If the portals are glitches, then yeah. Maybe the levers just, this was some unfinished portion of the game. It was locked. They never expected you to get there. And then in a loot box game, you just get a portal out immediately. But it's a customer portal. You're not supposed to walk through it. So portals were basically intended for some like, they're like a supply funnel almost. Or like supply lines for the games. In the loot boxes game, it's how customers enter your town. Wait, but they're walking through the portal. This doesn't make sense, does it? You walk, or customers walk into the portal to leave in the loot boxes game. Maybe they shouldn't do that anymore. Yeah, maybe they should never leave town like that. Because wouldn't it mean they're going to the Architect's Realm? Or another game or something? I mean, they could just be NPCs in another game. I think we need to change that. Yeah, I think we need to change that. I don't think customers should leave through the portal, since that has lore implications. We should just have them idle. Actually, do we have any other emojis that are kind of cutesy little idle things that they could do? No. I was thinking like, I don't know, like dreaming of a bed or a cat or something. Like just something that they're thinking about, a cup of coffee. Yeah, just have them idle instead of leaving. All right, that's kind of minor though. Yeah, so I think portals are like supply lines that whatever, we've got some explanation for it. So it's how customers enter your town. In the farming game, maybe the portals are in the community center to supply other games with crops from the farming game. This is one of those invisible pieces of lore that just, the game never talks about it. Players probably don't even ask about it. But I have some reason lined up for why these were there. You know, I haven't read the Silmarillion, but my understanding is that it's basically this times a million, which is a bunch of hidden lore. Some of the lore is probably obvious reading Lord of the Rings, but yeah, I imagine they go into a lot of depth. And they're things that otherwise, yeah, probably most people don't care about. Okay, so then, yeah, leaving the farming game needs to probably change. So I got to write this stuff down somewhere. Right in the design document somewhere about how each game leads into the architect's realm. Why the architect would have met other characters so frequently. It allows us to meet out the story more rapidly. Hey, Dark. Going off for a while longer from things. Had a moment to check the progress. And I noticed the new farming character looking great. There's an issue with the side idle animation. Hair moves up first before the head. Let me take a look. It's probably happening, but I don't really see anything that's off. Oops. Or at least nothing looks weird to me. Was the original farming idol character, did they not have this same kind of issue? I'm not sure. Dark, out of curiosity, would you be able to do the top-down world before like July 17th or something? Doesn't happen on other frames. Yeah. '17 definitely. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Do we have, where is, yeah, idle, right? Here we go. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I wonder what the original graphics look like. Okay. Yeah, I'll write a note. Okay, so yeah, allows us to meet out the story. What's the, what? Is this not a word? I don't know how to spell? No, yeah. Do know how to spell. Google doesn't know how to spell. There's something else I was going to write here. Oh yeah, it changes the portals versus glitches lore that I had come up with. My new my new retcon is that portals are like supply lines for games. In the loot boxes game, it supplies customers. In the farming game, it would have been a way to supply crops and not a livestock to other games that need them. It's actually pretty cool. I like this. Who says retconning is bad? All right. This is good news. And then what I need to do as a result of this, so like practical implications, the farming game needs to put you in the architect's realm again, only to be banished. And the top-down shooter needs its ending fleshed out. And then we actually let you talk to the architect. So you ask, no, that's too far. Where is it? Yeah, eventually the architect hears you out for long enough to know that you enjoy the games. At this point, you would have only been in 3 games. But you would have been like, no, it's actually fun. Maybe that's how you make it back so quickly. Architect is heartened by this. They inform you that you can't stay in the real world for too long and have to send you back to the game worlds. Perfect. Okay, this is great. We can just have the dialogue play out pretty linearly as well. And we can make this scene a little bit funnier. There could be like the office lights turn on here and you realize there's actually no danger. The music changes completely. After the architect realizes that you don't mean them any harm, they could turn the lights on. Music could become lighthearted, etc. Maybe this could, yeah. I think it's important for the player to see this so that they recognize where exactly they are in an office. Camera just went ultra white for a second. As long as it doesn't happen too many times, we're fine. But yeah, there were some camera issues I had a while ago, and I think the lens got seated incorrectly on the camera. So yeah, if it does happen a lot more, I'll need to probably reseat it again. All right, and then we need to know what happens after the loot boxes game. We need to know what happens after the loot boxes game. You would not see the sidekick character again, right? Yeah. I mean, you know what happens after the loot boxes game and after the dungeon racing game. Oh yeah, I understand Darkstorm. Yeah, and I'll bring that up. By the way, did you check out the colorization stuff? Because there's a lot of cool things that we can now do. Where is that tool? Yeah, here. So yeah, we have this tool. And it's got just all the animations in here. So we can change whatever we want here, like hair color to pink and shoes to blue. And then yeah, check out like frame by frame animations here. Yeah, randomize things. Yeah, I think it's gonna be really neat. Gotta add this in the game at some point. Yeah. I think this is mostly just for when we're working on the artwork directly. Because part of what we had originally, like I was just testing this out and I like very hastily made some of this artwork, not made, but like recolored. So you could see parts of the shirt coming through, parts of the skin weren't colored. So by setting this to all black or all white, you can now very easily tell like, oh, okay, it is getting colored correctly. And the only colorful pixels now you see are the tiny bits of blue in the eye, the gold and the red here. And that's all intentional. So if I just set everything to red for, well, I guess not red, but we pick like alternate red and yellow. Or maybe like blue for the skin for this. It's clear that only skin is actually colored that way. Oh, wait a second. No, hold on. There's some red there. That is probably not correct, right? Yeah, what's going on with that? Idle frame 4. Okay, I did not realize. I gotta go pretty soon. Where is this platformer? Idle, sprite sheet. So frame 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, look at that. There's some blue pixels there. Those shouldn't be there. Oh, at least those are very easy to fix. I could probably even do that myself. Yeah, although I should probably talk to Quickie Joe about this. I didn't actually happen to look and see if this is in any other graphic. Do any other ones have a problem? It's moving so fast I can't even tell. Probably not. No, I think that's fine. That's fine. Normal hit. That's fine. Idle we know is not fine. This. Yeah, that looks good. Double jump vertical. That looks good. I think it's just the idle one. which wouldn't be too bad. Jump has like 1,000,000 frames. Oh, wait. Oh, it's a shorts color. Oh, maybe. Okay. What does that look like in the default palette? Ah, I see. Okay, never mind. The original image has more colors or some blurring happening. Yeah. Okay, let's set this back to... All right, so where are shoes here? Shoes. So we set this like bright blue. And on frame 4, we see that here. So it's not just the shoe color, although I think it's fine. And in the original palette, it is... Wait, in the original, I don't even see red here. I mean, I see the boots. I just don't see it for the shorts. But the character was supposed to... Where is it? Mara Kinsugi. Yeah, it's more obvious in the like slight walking animation. And it's very obvious in those other animations. So what are we coloring those as? Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah. So we just shouldn't label these in the game. I think it's fine as long as we don't label them. Because if you just see that you're changing the color and you can just visually inspect, like, am I happy with the resulting sprite, then it's fine. So imagine you just didn't have labels here and you just had 4 color pickers or 5 or whatever we have. And you're changing these. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm happy with that character. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Great. Let's wrap up. Hardly use any of this. Hardly use any of the entire weekly quota too. Jeez, even trying to use AI. Oh wait, what am I doing? I already have an entry. Delete, delete, delete. All right, did some game design alongside some AI coding today. Very productive day. Yeah, I'm super happy. This entire week has been pretty good. We made a lot of progress on almost everything. I bought a bunch of assets. We got some more ideas for games. We moved forward with, yeah, lots of stuff. Very cool. Yeah, very, very cool. All right, more sub games. So I'm gonna write some afternoon stuff, or not afternoon, weekend stuff here. Like process the things on this list up until Monday. And yeah, plan to take vacation soon. I can't keep up at this pace. And try to use AI a bit. Oh man. Wow. Yeah. Like I said, super happy. I want to show off really quickly just what we got done. Oh wait, whoops. I gotta delete all that stuff. Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. So we changed how treasure chests work for this. They now automatically get granted to you. They open up into different items. You can then set the price on these things. So if I set them like 2,000 or 1,400 and let's say 1,300. Hey Krasner, and thank you very much. Hope you have a good weekend too. So now we have some customers coming in. We have these little tutorial dialogues that show up over here. We can set prices. Customers will come and scoff at the item prices or potentially buy, but they're not happy with that one. And they're very unhappy with that one. So you'd know to come in here and lower this. And now maybe they'll buy it. You'll get more treasure chests. You'll get more perks. You can upgrade all these things. So now we have more items, more treasure chests, more treasure stands. Yeah, we gotta do some balancing. We gotta add in some sound effects. But yeah, this is feeling pretty good. Yeah. All right, that is it for today. I should be back on Monday. Like I said, I got to take some vacation time at some point. I want to just recharge. And I still want to aim for August 1st for checkpoint 2. All right. Let's go do our typical Friday raid. Where is Fail to Survive? There he is. He is playing Minecraft. Very chill streamer. I wish you all the best. I hope to see you again after the weekend. And I hope you have a good one. Take care, everyone. And see you next time.